What's up, YouTube and WWE Universe? After a little panic and searching, I found my late but great WrestleMania 35 review. This, of course, I had ready right after WrestleMania, but unfortunately didn't get it posted. This is why I need to get my computer cleaned off to avoid losing videos not posted. Anyhow, let's get it. The WrestleMania 35 pre-show, Hour 1, consisted of Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese for the Cruiserweight Championship. It was a good match as expected. Tony Nese hit the German suplex in the corner and followed it up with a knee, and we have a new WWE Cruiserweight Champion in his hometown, Tony Nese. I'm a Buddy Murphy fan, but I was honestly ready for him to lose the championship. Shout out to Paige, who showed up, who was looking good, and it's nice to see her healthy. It was also nice to see that Alicia Fox was at the Hall of Fame ceremony. Next up is the Women's Battle Royal. Amber Moon is back from injury. And this here is going to be a slobber knocker, ladies and gentlemen. First, I want to talk about Dana Brooke, who didn't win, but she looked good in the match. And at this point, I was in the process of becoming more of a Dana Brooke fan. The final three come down to Sarah Logan, Sonya Deville, and Asuka. Sarah Logan gets the win, or so we think, until Carmella slides back in and hits a super kick. Carmella wins in what turns out to be a pretty good battle royal, in my opinion. In the second hour of the pre-show, we say yeah, as it's the Revival versus Hawkins and Ryder, and I must admit I was a little scared for this match. All through this match, I just had this gut feeling, and Curt Hawkins playing possum sneaks in a roll-up for the new tag team champions. However, it was a good match. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal is next, and it was good to see Luke Harper was in. In the beginning of the match, SNL go under the ring, and at the end, it looks like we're getting the Sid Justice Hulk Hogan spot. But luckily, Braun Strowman eliminates the Hardys and then turns around. We get a little bit of the comedy crap before Braun winds up ditching the SNL guys outside of the ring. And this match was what I expected it to be. Overall, the pre-show wasn't that bad. We start off WrestleMania with Alexa Bliss and the immortal Hulk Hogan, and we get a pose off. Then Paul Heyman struts out, and we get the Universal Championship match right now. I think that this starting the show kind of meant Brock would lose. Seth Rollins shockingly wins after 3 curb stomps. Brock, of course, did his thing, but I expected to be at least a few kickouts. I think in this match, Brock just continues to show that he really doesn't care. Therefore, why should I care to talk about him? Anyhow, we have a new Universal Champion, Seth Rollins. AJ Styles versus Randy Orton, another pretty good match that lasted about 16 minutes. AJ Styles winds up winning with the phenomenal forearm, and both men put their all out there. We get some of the same stuff from Lacey Evans again. Next up is the SmackDown Championships on the line with the Usos and Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev and The Bar and Ricochet and Aleister Black in a fatal 4-way for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The Usos start off wrestling in jackets. We see great swinging club action by The Bar, and this is a great action-packed match. The Usos wind up retaining with a double top rope splash on the Sheamus. Next up is the Best in the World, Shane McMahon versus The Miz in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Miz's dad winds up coming in to save the day and stop Shane from a dive. As George gets in the ring and puts his dukes up for a fight, things pick up after Shane and Miz start fighting through the arena. Somehow Shane winds up getting a win when Miz superplexed him off of the top of a camera platform that looked like a painter's scaffold, and Shane's placement had him land on top of the Miz. In another good match. The Women's Tag Team Championship is on the line next, and it's boss time. Boston Hill Connection, Tamina and Nia Jax versus the Iconics versus the Divas of Doom in another fatal 4-way. The Iconics wind up stealing the win to become the new Women's Tag Team Champions. Beth Phoenix dropped Bayley with a top rope glam slam, but then she was thrown out of the ring as Billie Kay made the pin in an iconic moment. WWE Championship is defended next. I see the black towel covering something at ringside, which leads me to believe that it's a new championship. It was a great match as expected from Kofi and Bryan, with lots of close calls and reversals. Rowan is laid out by the New Day. Kofi winds up missing Trouble in Paradise and catches the running knee from Bryan. Kick out. Bryan has a submission locked in, but Kofi fights. We get a Trouble in Paradise and a new WWE Champion, Kofi Kingston. And we get the original championship back already complete with Kofi side plates. Kofi's kids come in to celebrate, and they wind up opening a gift that's been on the outside since the beginning of the match, and it has a New Day t-shirt in it, already complete with the title on the shirt. Next up, we see Alexa Bliss in the back, and she's checking on the SNL crew. And then we wind up seeing the Doctors or the Outsiders. Also was pretty sure I seen Braun Strowman back there at first, but nothing ever come of it. Next up, Booker T joins the broadcast for Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe for the United States Championship. Samoa Joe winds up winning in a squash match, so I'm assuming Rey must still be injured at this point. Next up, it's the Big Dog versus Drew McIntyre, and the Big Dog wins with a spear. This was an okay fight between the two. This is the point where WrestleMania begins to seem a little long. Ladies and gentlemen, Elias. He's interrupted by a strange Babe Ruth video, which brings us some basic thugonomics, and this definitely isn't the honky-tonk man like I wanted. John Cena comes out with a midlife crisis since the Nikki breakup, and we get what is expected with an Elias interruption from old school Cena. Next up is the no-hold-bar match with Triple H and Batista, with Shawn Michaels as a special guest commentator. I thought this was an amazing match, honestly. Ric Flair comes out to cost Batista the match, handing Triple H a sledgehammer and distracting Batista. Sledgehammer shot and a pedigree for the win. I think the ending possibly made this match even better. Backstage with Alexa Bliss again. This time she's joined by the B-Team with the new Daniel Bryan t-shirt and Ron Simmons. Next match is Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle. Somewhere in the middle of the match, Corbin mocks John Cena's "You Can't See Me." Angle misses the top rope moonsault, and Baron Corbin wins. I see Noelle Foley in the audience as usual. We then get a quick send-off, and Curt walks to the back. For the Intercontinental Championship, we have Bobby Lashley versus the Demon Finn Balor. Balor, of course, wins after a coup de grace in a short, okay match that lasted about 4 minutes. Alexa is back to give us the attendance record, and we get a dance break. Main event time, Charlotte comes to the arena by helicopter, and we get some Joan Jett and the Blackhearts playing Ronda to the ring. This was an amazing match to me. Becky winds up reversing the Piper's Pit and sneaking the win and becoming the new champion. I'm not sure if it was even supposed to end at this point, or if they had to rush to finish. The show ends with Becky celebrating in the ring, but it seemed to end quickly. I think the show wound up running way too long, and they began to rush things toward the end, as the match had already been given over 20 minutes at this point. Overall, it was a great WrestleMania this year. I sort of lost a little interest after the Kofi match. However, I was lured back in the main event. Weak points of the show was the Mysterio squash and the Angle match. I even honestly enjoyed the return of Thugonomics and seen it as a surprise. The pre-show was also pretty good, with the weak point of the pre-show being the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Guys, we wound up surviving another long WrestleMania. Truth is, this show was way too long, and it would have been better with a few of the lesser short matches removed. I can understand trying to get everyone on the show, but the fans become restless after so many hours, especially when there's a Hall of Fame and an NXT event in the same weekend. Guys, please tell me what you enjoy most on the show. Thoughts and comments are always welcome. Were you surprised of any of the outcomes or surprise moments? Be sure to stay tuned for more videos, and happy WWE New Year, everyone.